Hey there, everyone. Here we are at lesson 66, continuing this association between my actual function here on the planet and my happiness. And it connects the two. And it says the reason why we're bothering to connect the two is that you don't really see the connection. And then it goes on to say that there's not just a connection, although forms are different, the content is exactly the same. It reminds us that the ego mind is constantly doing battle with the loving part of you, the Holy Spirit, that awareness that's in your mind of the transcendent part of you. So there's this battle going on, but it's really a one-way battle. The ego is constantly arguing about this, but the loving part of you doesn't answer because they don't operate on the same plane, so to speak. So there's not a war between the ego and the Holy Spirit. There's just the ego constantly being at war with everything and about everything. Remember, conflict is its food. It's got to be in conflict, or the false sense of separation would evaporate before your very eyes. So the ego's got to have enemies. Now, today we're going to stop this pretend like battle. We're not going to engage in it. We're not going to be involved in. Let's see if we can figure out what happiness is. You know what happiness is. Either you're happy or you're not. It's not something you have to figure out. And we're not going to indulge in the ego as it tries to attack the truth. We're just going to be glad that we know what the truth is. Now, in our longer practice periods, which will be 10 to 15 minutes, the purpose is the acceptance of the fact, not doing battle with it, but the acceptance of the fact that there is not only a real connection between the function love or God gave you and your happiness, but they're really identical, despite the fact that it might appear to be different. Okay, so how can this appearance be different? All right, it looks to you as a human being like your function here is to earn a living, raise your kids, try to stay safe, keep your body healthy, enjoy yourself in whatever way you enjoy yourself. The point is, you can do all of those things, which the ego says, yes, that's your function, and at the same time, you can do your real function of, in the midst of those activities or focus of attention, you can still be stopping your judgment, releasing the things that block you, letting go of your grievances. So although it might appear that your function in the world is to earn a living and your real function is to let go of grievances, you can be doing those at the same time. I hope that makes sense because it's really important that it does. And then it says, during these 10 or 15 minutes, review these ideas. God or love gives me only happiness, not some happiness and some misery, only happiness. Love or God has given my function to me. Therefore, my function must be the experience of happiness once I execute my function. And then it says, we want to see the logic in this, even if you don't accept the conclusion yet that your function and your happiness are the same. So here are a couple of things we need to think about. The first premise we need to review is, it could be that God doesn't give you happiness, but gives you some misery as well, that he proceeds in an evil direction because what's not happiness is evil. However, nothing, including God, can give what they don't have, and he can't have what he isn't. Love cannot have properties that just don't exist as part of love. So, unless God gives you only happiness, he must be evil and guilty, which is both insane and also what you're believing if you don't accept this first premise that God gives me only happiness. Now, the second premise is that God or love has given you your function, which just makes sense since you are an outpouring of your Creator. Then what God's function is, which among other things is to offer happiness, that's got to be mine as well. So we're very clear that there appears to be two parts of the mind. One is ruled by the ego. I want my way, the story of me, and is made up of all the things I think I need to do to stay safe, control people, manipulate, get my way, and so on and so forth. The other is the home of that awareness, of that impetus to love and be loved, where truth abides. So it keeps all this very simple. There are only two parts to your mind. One is egocentric, one is loving, and therefore there are only two guides, one for each part of your mind, and only two outcomes. Fear will be the outcome of living out of your ego mind that is ruled by conflict, and the other is the love that the Holy Spirit or the truth of you or the reality of you always offers to replace it. It's always there. It's just a matter that we haven't chosen it. So by replacing it, it means that the replacing function is there, present, always with us. We've just been looking the other way. So it must be that our function is established by God or love through the mechanism that our intellect can understand, the Holy Spirit, or it's made by the ego, which we have made to replace the truth. Only one of these can be true. So it says, if God didn't give you your function, then it was the gift of the ego. Does the ego, which doesn't even really exist, all it is just a bunch of crazy thoughts and defense strategies and manipulation techniques and so on, what does that have to offer? Not anything we want. Then it asks us to reflect on all the ways the illusion of our function has operated, all of the ways we've tried to find happiness in this world, all the ways that we thought we had to be, what we thought we had to wear, how we thought we had to show up, ways that we needed to negotiate and manipulate and control and project all of our stuff onto other people. Has this worked out well? Is happiness associated with turning everything into an enemy? Did we love the outcome? Have we been deeply at peace? Have we been deliriously happy? Probably not. So don't expect anything worthwhile to come from this ego, which is the only alternative to the Holy Spirit's voice or love's voice. So here we are, back down to only two choices. You can either listen to madness, which is what the ego delivers, or you can hear the truth about the love that you are, that you have, that is available to you whenever you decide to exercise your function, which is letting go of judgments and grievances and releasing all the garbage that's in your mind. So it says, okay, big strides are taken today as you put two and two together this way. So during the short times when you can think about this during the day, just remember, my happiness and my function are one. If I can let go, if I can realize I really love it when I'm kind to people rather than when I hate them. My happiness and my function are one, being kind to people even when I'm doing my work, driving the car, cutting the grass. So you see, the worldly function and my actual function can all be happening at the same time. All righty, have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye.